A lot of people are having FOMO, that they're not getting into a lot of deals. If you just want to get your feet wet and it's kind of a smaller deal, go ahead, do what makes you happy. But if it's a big deal like this that your net worth cannot absorb, be very, very careful. This is Ari from Kapel Real Estate, and I want to tell you 8 reasons we didn't buy this apartment building back here. Reason number 1, unit mix. We saw that about 40% of the units were 1 bedrooms. And our experience with 1 bedrooms is it results in a lot more turnover, and a lot of times the overall building and the feel of it just feels a little bit more transient, and there's not enough community cohesiveness. So we're not a big fan of such a high mix of 1-bedroom apartments. Reason number 2, so there's not enough parking here. A lot of good quality tenants are interested in having their own parking space, and if they don't have that and they have to look around for parking, a lot of times it affects your tenant quality. Reason number 3, heating source. Almost like 40% of the heating in this place was electric baseboard heat, which is very expensive for the tenant, especially when it gets cold here in Pennsylvania. We don't like to see electric baseboard heat because the tenant has to spend so much money to heat their place when they could be spending it on rent or other things. Reason number 4. As you can see, this is a mixed unit with apartments on top, and there is a commercial on the bottom. One of them is fit out for retail, which is that nice barber shop, which is a well-established barber shop in the area. But 2 of the other places, actually 3 of the other places are functionally obsolete. As you can see, they're kind of covered up there. A lot of tenants wouldn't be interested in having that space unless we invested a lot of money to make them more functionally relevant. Reason number 5 we didn't buy this apartment building. The expense ratio on the pro forma P&L was 35%. In our experience, it's a little bit closer to 50%, especially for a building that's this age and this caliber. So we put 50% in the expense ratio, and the numbers did not look very good. This thing barely cash flows. Reason number 6, the pro forma had statements like heating costs will go down by 40% after, this full year of new heating systems going through. Usually we find that almost to be a little bit speculative, because if you haven't seen those costs in the trailing 12 month that you're given, it's kind of like wishful thinking, and we like to make our purchases based on the actual numbers, not the improvements. That's kind of like the gravy and the upside. Things like appreciation or speculation, we don't determine our purchases based on that. It's got a cash flow, and then all that other ancillary things is kind of gravy. Reason number 7 we didn't buy. There was little to minimal, no upside on the rents. Even if we made additional improvements to it, there's kind of a ceiling, and the operator that was selling this did a really good job of maximizing the value of this property. We didn't see that there was a lot of upside in rent. Reason number 8, submarket, submarket, submarket. I invest in this area, and I know a lot about the different neighborhoods. In this particular neighborhood, this had okay performance, not as much as maybe the downtown where I invest more. But an out-of-town investor may not know that, and may attribute a lot of the growth and population and economic factors in the market is affecting everywhere equally. That's not the case with this, and that local knowledge gave us an edge in really valuing this deal. I would say dumb money from out of town, from another state, came in and bought this property. And when we learned that they were under agreement, you always have that like, oh, that man, we should have got it. However, at the end of the day, because this thing did sell for over $1 million, it served as a really good comparative sale to appraisal that we just had on a building we own downtown. More on that later. Thanks for watching. If you like it, please share, like, and subscribe.